Hello, this is Edison TV, and today we're talking to Philip Johnston, CEO of Trackwise Designs, and we're talking to him about the group's recently announced H121 results. So thank you for joining us, Philip. And the first question, what were the factors driving revenue growth during the first half of 2021?
Yeah, thank you, Anne. Well, as though twofold, the simpler one is the fact that we own Stevenage circuits for 6 months rather than 3 months in the prior year. But I think the important change in the IHT was that we had a very strong increase in IHT sales growth, so revenue 130% of prior year, so which was a good result from our perspective.
And the SCL circuits, how would their performance compare? I know you didn't have them for the full first 6 months. So if you compared that with the second half of the year, how's that doing?
So, whilst we did only own them for the 3 months of the prior half year, actually in absolute terms, their revenues were up 6% half year on half year. So a good solid performance in spite of the of COVID and the supply chain issues that we mentioned.
Right, thank you. And going on to the supply chain constraints and coronavirus issues, what impact did they have on profitability during that first half?
I think it's always slightly hard to extract a factor from everything else. So I don't think coronavirus had a massive impact on profitability. The sort of slightly bigger matter was the supply chain issues where no orders were lost, but because of our inability to source the raw material, obviously revenues were delayed. So it was a delayed revenue, a delayed sales rather than a notable loss in profitability.
Right. Thank you, that's very helpful. And what are your expectations regarding IHT, that's improved harness technology, revenues for the rest of 2021 and into 2022?
Well, I think as we've said, the first half of the year in comparison with the prior year showed strong growth, and we are seeing and expect to see that that trend continue in the second half of this year, and of course going into 2022 when we have our new factory in Stonehouse in Gloucestershire coming online, and so that is when really the sales for IHT are going to accelerate.
Thinking about IHT activities in 2022, can you provide some quantification on contracted revenues for the year, and also a bit of colour about upside from other activities?
Thank you, Anne. Yes, so I think as your listeners or viewers are aware, Trackwise has the UK EV OEM contract really starting to manufacture in our new plant in Stonehouse, and that is coming online at the start of 22. And the terms of that contract are such that the guaranteed minimum volumes for next year are in the order of 16 million. So that is for that one contract, which is obviously a very significant scale up from current year. But then we continue here in our facility in Ashvale and in Tewkesbury to grow our other verticals, or the vertical electric vehicles and battery packs for other customers, but also our other verticals of medical and aerospace. Now, whilst none of those other opportunities are going to emerge to rival the UK EV OEM contract in 2022, we are hopeful, confident, expecting some progression, progression in other sectors in 22.
So please, can you provide a bit more detail about the status of your new site at Stonehouse, your Site 3?
Thank you, Anne. Well, slightly styling this name. We used to call it Plant 3, but we might have to think of a better name. So Stonehouse is the Stonehouse facility is possibly a nicer name. But so this is the site we acquired earlier this year. So we have initially completed the strip out. So that is stripping out the previous services and installation that we didn't require. Did a bit of refurbishment to some of the property, and now we're underway with putting it back into the layout in order to accept the equipment which is on order and going to be installed. So there's a lot of work to be done in between now and the end of the year, but we believe that we're on track to be ready to start production in line with the needs of our UK OEM customer.
That's great, thank you. And finally, clearly for investors, their big interest is what's happening on the IHT front, because that's where the really big growth drive is going to be going forward.
Yeah.
But it's important to see good things happening in the advanced PCB division as well. And how do you see the prospects for that side of the business?
Okay. Yes. So I mean, I think the IHT is the growth story, and I think we've demonstrated our ability to make that happen. But your advanced PCBs is a very important part of the group, particularly this year. Is generating the vast bulk of the revenue in 2021. And we are anticipating, we're seeing some strong growth. So now that we've got this material, the supply chain issue sorted out, we are catching up with some of the backlog that has been engendered by this supply chain issue, and we're seeing strong growth in industrial, particularly in the industrial control side, with one customer in particular is really driving strong growth. So we're implementing an extended shift to provide some greater capacity at the site. We've made some investments in plant and equipment for the facility in order to aid their capacity and productivity. So yeah, it's a great business which we're very pleased with, and anticipating that the current record of solid growth is going to continue.
That's very good to hear. Thank you. And thank you very much for taking the time to speak with us today. And we look forward to speaking to you again soon. Thank you.
Thank you very much indeed. Thank you.